something that's been on my mind for 37 years. My biggest problem with America. Is there such a thing, baby? Is there such a thing? I feel like there's so many problems with America, it's really hard to pinpoint what the biggest one is. Yeah. Well, I feel like this, applies to issues all across the board, okay? My biggest problem with America is that the majority of people that live here don't care about victims. And if they do, it's only a small group of them that they're told to care about, typically by the news media. They don't care about what happens to somebody if they don't agree with them. If that somebody is not in the victim group that they're told about repeatedly, then they just like don't care about what happens. So I was reading this story about these two kids that were like mauled to death by their family pet. And this really bothers me because, you know, y'all probably have already seen videos where like I, you know, defend pit bulls to the ends of the earth. And I have several friends of mine, you know, typically black, that have a pit bull, typically liberal, that have a pit bull. And, you know, I don't have a problem with the breed myself, but, you know, looking at these pictures, like, because you know me, we had to do some investigating, and that's another problem, is that people don't want to investigate. They don't investigate because they just want to be angry about what they're told to be angry about, and like typecast an entire group of people or an entire breed of dog, you know. So of course I had to look into this, because I was like, what if you're wrong about them? What if they are really just vicious animals? And so, you know, I checked all these websites that, you know, were talking about animal attacks, and pretty much all of them involved pit bulls, or like some mix of a pit bull. Now, I did my research into, you know, the breed, what they were bred to do, which is fight. Typically other dogs, not humans. They're very loyal, extremely loyal breed, and you know, from my experience with them, they'll lick you to death. But you know, from a lot of these children's experience, they'll maul them to death. Okay, and like people defending that are pieces of shit. Like, here's the thing, like, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. And it's really important when you do research and you want to get to the bottom of everything, which nobody does. It's really important that you keep an open mind, okay? So, I noticed that all the information that I received in regards to these vicious pit bull attacks, they never had any information on like who actually bred the dog. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But I mean, these animals are attacking their owners, and it's just happening randomly. And of course, people will, you know, jump to the conclusion that the pit bull was triggered. Okay, once again, liberal. But so you're like defending. You're defending this animal that literally chewed up a child's face. You're defending that. Well, yeah, that makes sense, because they defend Hillary Clinton, right? Right. That's true. They do. Hey, since we're gonna bring this into the government, let's let's focus on more government bullshit. Oh. What's the solution to this problem? Do we ban the breed of pit bulls? Do we do that? Because they tried that shit in Canada, it didn't fucking work. Because, and this is something that conservatives don't understand because they're not really that conservative. They don't think things through. Criminals will still commit crimes. That's what makes them criminals. So if they ban the breed, it's actually going to do the opposite of what they want. So in a way, like I've said, conservatives are just another side of the same coin. So they just want to ban things that are inconvenient or problematic. Kind of like, you know, abortion enthusiasts just want to throw away their baby because it's inconvenient. If you do enough research and you pay enough attention and you listen to enough people from all walks of life that have varying opinions, you'd be absolutely amazed how everybody is the exact same. All you have to do is twist it around, and that's why God put me on this green earth. The leaves are changing. I don't know if you saw that last video. It's really beautiful. Look. Ignore that. Ignore that. All right. See, look at these beautiful trees, y'all. People don't change though, do they? They don't change at all. And if they really wanted to solve problems, they would do what I do, and they would do so much research that they vomit, okay? But people don't want to do that. They just want to be angry, and they want to blame somebody. And no, if you ban the dogs, it's not going to do anything but make more attacks happen, because really shit-ass pieces of garbage are going to breed the dogs. So you're not going to solve problems through government. It's not going to happen that way, especially with a government that eats babies, okay? That's not the solution. Maybe these problems don't have solutions at all. So we're like fighting over absolutely nothing. It just makes me really nervous though, because like I do have a lot of friends that have a pit bull, and they have small kids. So, like a friend of mine, she just got a pit bull. But the thing is, like, I mean, I'll just pray, just say a prayer, because I know she's not going to get rid of it, because they're attached to it now. I think that a lot of people get the dog because they want like protection. Well, when you need protection from the dog itself, then I think that sort of defeats the purpose. But, you know, like I said, it's very, very important that people do extensive amounts of research if they really want to solve problems and they really care about victims. Because a lot of the time, the victims are actually the victimizers. So naturally, of course, I would assume that they were just like typecasting this entire breed of dog, because it's sensationalism and they love it. Like the news media loves it when people get shot and stabbed and mauled to death. You know, they love it because it sells their papers and it gets them likes and it gets them attention and all this shit, you know? I mean, that's fucked up. Like, we live in a country that's like entirely absorbed with like sensationalism and drama and gossip, you know? And they don't care about actual victims. They don't care about horrible things happening to decent people, you know? It'd be one thing if like the pit bull, why don't we just like release these vicious pit bulls on like politicians? How about that? There's a solution. We just found the solution. Yes! Yes! And we just saw a little chipmunk, y'all. It was like the cutest thing. and it was eating an acorn. I wish I had filmed it, but I didn't have time. But anyway, yeah, so I always said that politicians should be fed to a Venus flytrap. But, you know, if you think hard enough, which, you know, we tend to do that. We tend to think harder than every last piece of shit that lives in this country because they don't actually care, dude. I mean, like, it's really important that you don't just jump to a conclusion because you want to believe it so bad. You know, so I don't really have, like, I didn't come to a consensus with this. Other than that, I'm nervous for my friends that have a child and a pit bull. It kind of bothers me now. I just hope that they don't end up like another statistic. But, you know, then again, it's like you hear about the attacks, but you don't, for the same exact reason that you hear about bad cops, but you don't hear about good cops. You don't hear about, you know, families that have a pit bull that never attacked them, you know? So, you know, there's that element. And, you know, we love to focus on the negative. But, you know, it's not just pits. It's like Rottweilers. What was the other one? God, I can't think of the name of it. That dog with like the really scrunchy face. I know a lot of dogs have a scrunchy face. Not bulldogs, but damn, I don't remember the name of it. But I think that you get the genuine gist of what I'm trying to say. Like, you know, do some more research. If you actually care, then, you know, your bucket of vomit will prove that.